Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. We're doing Ready to Love. This is going to be another snippet for episode 11. Like I promised, once again, housekeeping rules, before I did housekeeping rules, like if you didn't see episode 10, quickly jump and see episode 10 snippet. But also I'm going to continue my apology and please, forgiveness, like we 3 episodes behind. And I know, y'all depend on me to be consistent, but stuff happens. But I'm here. And we're going to make this happen. I'm going to tell you how I feel. I'm going to discuss it as much as we can. So anyway, this is episode 11. Please don't forget to like as you come and you see my face. Give me a smile. Hit the like button. Tell me what you think. And most important, if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Okay. All right. So going into it, this is episode 11 and it's called 2 Truths and a Lie. We know Advocate Miss Sue Ann got sent home. I think we expected it, but she lasted as long as she could. She did pretty good, and shortly after that, I believe, Blake had to follow, because nobody else could stand his ass. To put it quite bluntly, like he was the cat that had 20 lives, like for real. So both of them have defied gravity up until this point, so they had a good run. So cutting to a scene, there's a scene where Cynthia is sitting outside in the pool with Andre, and it really seems like Andre is requiring Cynthia to prove herself anytime they're together, prove that she's worthy, that she needs to, like it's her job to make him want her. I'm frankly, I'm over this. Like, yeah, look, ladies, like if you find yourself in a situation where you always have to justify who you are, justify your worth, that person's not for you. Like, Cynthia's had to do this one too many times, both unconsciously, unknowingly, and knowingly. Like behind her, he's had the discussion. Like everyone who has met both of his interests keep rooting for Cynthia, but he wants Jeffrey, but he trying to do the right thing. Sometimes like you can't do the right thing. You might need to do the wrong thing to get your lesson. I don't know, but I would just say, like, at this point, like if you have to do all this, if you constantly need to justify yourself to someone, please exit stage left. Like it's not worth it. You will spend the expanse of the relationship justifying the very color of your skin, the very essence of who you are, and that's not fair, and that's not why we're here. That's what I get from that. Like, let's see how this plays out, but that's all I'm getting. There's a quick point here where Mercedes talking with Anthony MP and finally decides to bow out, tell him that he's got a lot of blouse. Like, look. She said the same thing she said before, but she just let him know that maybe they should end their pursuit at this point. Like, yeah, here, but like she doing that because she's got a comfortable option, so she want to go for someone that requires her to dip less into herself. And this is not judgment or criticism, but just wondering, like, at one minute you were like, I'm really in, but I guess maybe you know more. Anyway, so long and short, like, so Anthony MP has gone from 3 down to 1 real quick, like in like a week, a couple of days. In a couple of days, Anthony has gone from 3 options to 1, and his one option still kind of looking, at somebody else, or has a connection with somebody else. So this is the day after the dinner, and Morgan gets to spend some more time with Lyndon, and they get talking. And Lyndon said he was trying to get time with Morgan because he realized that after the showdown, Morgan really wasn't giving him any kind of FaceTime, and he felt like she was avoiding him, and he wanted to kind of tease out what was going on. And in his observation, he felt like Morgan was trying to spare Tony's feelings already. You're not a confirmed couple, so to say, and you're already tiptoeing around his feelings. Like, the more I talk about it, the more I'm getting a little peeved by it now, because Tony, up until this point, Tony been my guy. Like, I knew he was like Mr. Which is why we call him Tony Tiger. But like, if she had to start tiptoeing now, walking on eggshells now, just so you can feel good, like so you can feel like you're a man, then I think I need to pull the plug. We need to hit like the eliminate button. Like, this is not healthy. I'm not gonna jump on the bandwagon and call it toxic, because we throw that word around, we bandy that around the word a little too much, or we toxic is AKA for a narcissist. They like, so I'm not saying that, but I'm gonna say like I'm not comfortable, because already this guy has said something really hurtful, whether he said in anger or not. There's something they say about anger and being drunk, that sometimes it tells the truth about the person, how the person really feels. Cause I don't know, like I can't, or let me put it like this: I can't respect anyone who says what they don't mean when they're angry. I think that's weak. I'm sorry, that's weak. You are weak. Like, you call yourself all these things, whether you're Tony the Tiger or no, the Alpha Man, but you say something in anger, you don't mean it. I'm sorry, I can't respect that. I have no respect for that. I know we're all human, but personally, I can't respect you if you say something you don't mean just because you're angry. So Lyndon goes on to say that he realized that Morgan was tiptoeing around him already because she didn't want to hurt Tony's feelings. And so he just wanted to see where he was with her, because the bell hadn't rang. The fat lady hadn't stopped singing. You know, it wasn't over until it was over, and it wasn't over yet. So he wasn't ready to give up. I'll give Lyndon that. Like I said, Lyndon's growing on me. Like, he no punk. Yeah, he don't care. It's like, we want to rack, let's rack. Because I'm here for the same thing you're here for. Like, you don't have two heads. And so we got one head each. So let's go. And Morgan kind of explained to him that, you know, that she was having a lot of trouble putting energy into two people at the same time. Girl, you and the rest of the world. Because everyone preaches about, well, you know, I probably said it too, you know, when you're dating, don't focus on one person and blah, 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 blah. You know, you hear other people say you're the prize, and how you going to be the prize if you finally just kind of bow out one person. You're meant to stop when the person has proven themselves. But I have to agree with her. It really is hard to focus and give yourself, and I don't mean give yourself, you know what I mean, but open yourself up and talk with multiple people. Because when you give somebody your time, it's just, yeah, I get it. I get what she was saying. 100, I get it. And I think most people will see that. And it's particularly harder on camera. I think it's particularly harder on camera to spread yourself across more than one person, because then the other person in this scenario, they can see it. So it's a different case if it's different scenarios, like the people don't know each other. They might know of each other, but they don't know each other. But they know each other, and it's just harder. It's just, yeah. Anyway, Lyndon says he gets that, and then he says something about he's bad for you. Now, you know, Lyndon might be onto something, because as a fellow man, he can see, because we see each other. We see each other. I don't know where I got that from. I remember it's from a show. But I believe that men see each other as well as women see each other. A woman will see a fellow woman clearer than another man will. Not to say the man can't see it either. So Lyndon's seen something to him like, yo, I don't think he's good for you. He's bad for you. Now, coming from him, you take with a grain of salt, because you're competing for the same person. But at the same time, I think he realizes that he's losing. Anyway, she walks away. But I think there's, you know, she's already kind of sad, because she realizes that she's hurting Lyndon. And for the first time, I'm actually seeing a different perspective. I thought initially she just had, you know, Lyndon racked up to be the backup. Like, she didn't care about how you felt. But no, she actually does care about how he feels. Another activity goes on. She's making candles, and she just burst into tears. Walks away. Cynthia goes to sit with her, and they get talking. Now, in all of this, Tony sees that she's tearful. Tony is told that she was tearing up. He goes to see what's going on, and he has anger at what's going on with her, because he's perceiving that she's crying over Lyndon. And this is what I would like to say as another red flag for me is, if you really care for someone, there's a point, particularly in the beginning, there's a point where you really care for them. You put your feelings aside to see their perspective, see what they're going through. You know, you've heard people say that I love you enough to let you go. Like, Like, that's not like TV magic. Like, you actually care for that person. But he, in no time was he able to separate his emotions or his ego from what was going on with her, to really get down. Like, yo, I'm sorry, like, in all of this, he hasn't been able to have a real conversation with her. That's a problem. Like, that's a real problem. And if they end up together and it doesn't change, it's going to be a problem. And they're not going to last. They can't. Because he's yet to step out for her the way she can step out, or has been seen to step out for him. Because she hasn't shut him down after hearing the nonsense he said in anger. The doorbell rang when nephew Tommy had sent someone with some stuff about candles. Why he's saying his confession talk about, Marcia could pop up? Like, why is Marcia's name still coming up in his mouth? I don't know if that was based on some interviewing. Maybe the producer had thrown Marcia into the scenario. I don't know. But I'm just like, how did Marcia get into this? Like, it's just, I don't know. Between episode 10 and 11, I'm just seeing, I should just make, the thumbnail for these next 2 episodes just a red flag. Like, you know how they do in golf, like when on a putt, like just put a red flag on his face. I'm not saying it's not possible, but I have very little hope on the likelihood of a healthy relationship between Tony and Morgan. There's a little, like, the percentage is the lowest possible, but because the truth is we don't see everything and we're not privy to everything. But just what we're seeing, just what we're shown on own network. I've not yet seen Tony in these last couple episodes, or last 2 episodes, put his ego to the side and empathize with the woman he says he has feelings for. Yeah, you want him to be all strong and masculine, but the truth is, as humans, whether you're male or female, you should be able to access both. And you access both for this very reason. Like, you can be as macho as you want to be, but if you see a lady in pain, you put macho down for a minute, check in with her, make sure she's good, reassure her, and then you can pick macho back up and put macho back on. But you walk around macho all day, like, that's not appealing, that's not attractive. Like, you're not King Kong. Even King Kong put macho down and was tender. I haven't seen any tenderness. Boom, that's it. I haven't seen any tenderness towards Morgan in these last 2 episodes coming from Tony. And if that's not there, what's the point? The possibility or the juxtaposition of going from one to the other is what's attractive. Like, let me give you this. Like, you can enjoy a vacation because you worked. So you can enjoy doing nothing. But if you're not working and you're just doing nothing, you're going to hate doing nothing. Same difference. Like, if all you see is tough, and macho, it's not cute. In fact, it's annoying. Like, after that, it's like irritating, then sickening. But if you see, and then you can have a juxtaposition of some tenderness and some softness, the contrast is appealing and it's attractive and it draws you in. All I've seen from Tony the Tiger is just the last 2 episodes, and all of a sudden he don't look attractive. Contrast is important. They have a quick candle ceremony. I feel like the candle ceremony, because they all made candles for each other with notes and messages, whether it was fragrance or whether it was a colored candle, they put a message there for their interests. And so I feel like the candle ceremony kind of cemented who is solidly with who. But one person who got, 2 people had 2 candles. Cynthia had 2 candles, one for Anthony NP and one for Andre. And Anthony had the gal to be like, I don't know, like he felt some kind of way about it. Like, Anthony, why you feel some kind of way about it? Just because your other interests don't, she bow out, don't mean that Cynthia should throw hers away because you're all in. Because you weren't all in until Mercedes pulled back. Now you're all in because you got one option. So you know what, Cynthia, you keep going. And then of course Andre had 2 candles too. So anyway, it just kind of confirms that I feel like everyone's kind of falling where they are. Like, it looks like Mark Anthony is, because he's sitting with Mercedes, and then Jeffrey sitting with Andre, and then Cynthia is sitting with Anthony NP. Morgan is sitting with, I want to say she was, no, Morgan was sitting with Brahman, with Lyndon, because Brahman, Tiger, had been roaring so loud that he'd worn himself out. Like, he had such a big little tantrum, like a baby tiger, he worn himself out. He was asleep during this whole candle ceremony. The next day, Tony apologizes for his poor behavior to Morgan. Brahman is emotionally immature. He has some strong features that Morgan requires, and I think that women require. You want a man to have some strength. You want a man to have that sense of, like this is mine. I've got you. I'm going to cover you. I'm going to do this. You don't want him to be a little territorial and be like, yeah, like be a little peeved if someone's kind of bothering you. You kind of want that. You do. You want them to be a little irritated, and I think that's how the whole Lyndon thing started. You want them to be irritated if someone's, buzzing around you. But at the same time, you need him to be emotionally mature. Tony is emotionally immature. For whatever reasons, whatever his story is, we don't really know his story yet. Or maybe I can't remember it, but something going on. There's some underdevelopment in that area. And there's always a story for that. I don't quite know what the story is yet. Because the truth is he really ready for the ups and downs of a relationship? Is he? Is he? And most importantly, can he or will he protect her heart at all costs? Or will he be worried about his ego and how he looks? Because he's still acting like a little boy. But a real man will be able to go between that juxtaposition of, yeah, I'm a man, but I need to protect her heart. Because that's part of your duty as a man. Not preserve your ego and how you look, but your the primary goal, once you declare that you have feelings for a woman, is to protect her heart. So anyway, we go into ladies' lounge and they start talking about, bottom two. And Cynthia, brings up Tony's name because she says that she doesn't like the way Tony has behaved. Like, she recaps what happened at the dinner table. And of course, this brings nephew Tommy into it. And nephew Tommy starts asking her, nephew Tommy can ask some solid questions sometimes. So he does ask her things about red flags. And she does confess that yes, there's that. But there's something of note here that she mentions that in all of her infatuation with Tony, she had not really given herself time to get to know Lyndon. So Lyndon had lost before he started because Tony very quickly occupied the space within her. So she never really got to know Lyndon for real. It seemed to be that on the surface it was cute, but she didn't really get below the surface. And now that she's seeing other things about Tony that are not so cute and not so, lovely and attractive, she's like, uh-oh, my other option, I really don't know him that well. Yeah, because it really is, she hasn't given them equal time, equal investigation, equal investment. So she really doesn't know if she was to pick Lyndon, would he really be a match? So at the end of this deliberation, nephew Tommy says, go meet up with Lyndon one more time and see what you get out of it and make a decision there. Of course, I love that Lyndon was transparent and honest with her when they got talking. He was honest and said he wasn't where she was. He's a young man. He wasn't ready to settle down, and Morgan rightfully so, respect her position. She knows what she wants. She's not ready to play the field for another 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Makes no sense. She wants someone who, not to say that's a guarantee, you've got the ring, no, but someone who, if everything falls in line, is ready to settle down. Lyndon's not there yet. Time for Lyndon to go home. Funny enough, it's now it's time for Lyndon to go home. I'm actually like, he's not a bad guy. It took a minute to get to know him, but I think part of the reason why we didn't really get to know him was none of the other ladies got to know him. He was never anybody's first choice. That means there's a story behind Lyndon. Lyndon was drawn to all the ladies who weren't emotionally available to him. The question now is, what's his story? The ladies who were into him, I'm forgetting their names now. One of them is Jay. I've got her name now. She found it. I remember they had an interesting date and she was into him. I feel like any of the ladies who were into him, who were emotionally available, he wasn't open to them. And so there's a story there. I mean, not to say that you have to go for people who want you, but the people that he was strongly attracted to weren't strongly attracted to him. Obviously, they obviously weren't strongly attracted to him. He had no main lead. Yeah, he didn't. There was no lady who had him as her main and only option that he reciprocated. And there's something to tease out there. I'm not his therapist, so I can't tease it out, but just pay attention to that. So yeah, we didn't get to know Lyndon because none of the ladies got to know him. And so finally, at the end of it, he go in and they share a kiss, and it's like, you know, Morgan is, you know, kind of sad because she's thinking of what could have been, because she realizes that Lyndon's a good guy, but she never really got to know him, never really got to the bottom of it, really never collected all the data she needed to decide if she could pivot and leave Tony at this point and have an equally fulfilling connection with Lyndon. Because rightfully, she just said, you know, I can't judge her because it really is hard to focus on two people at the same time. No lies, it is. Particularly when you decide you like someone, then you don't really see anybody else. It's so real, and I think that is, I think all of us can kind of look back at maybe somebody that maybe if we had put some time into them, it could have been something. But at the same time, I believe everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. There are no mistakes. There's, you know, the journey is twists and turns because life is a bundle of choices and decisions. I won't even call them mistakes. I will call life a bundle, a collection of choices and decisions. Just, you know, weaving through. Just like I've heard a pilot say this. If I'm wrong, if you're a pilot, tell me I'm wrong. But I've heard a pilot say that 90% of flying is staying on course. You get off course. You know you're going to get off course, but you get back on course. So it's like this, like that. And that's what I feel this is. Like, so it's meant to be. But I think this kind of buttresses my point as we end this video, that sometimes you really need to do your work before you seek out a life partner, because whoever you attract and you're drawn to may not necessarily reflect who you're going to be. Anyway, guys, this is the end of this snippet. This is no longer a snippet. This sounds like a whole damn story. I'm sorry, but anyway, please don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and please tell me what you all think. Like some of these concepts are so important that I don't care if we're taking over time. I only wanted to make it 10 minutes, looking like it's longer than 10 minutes. But anyway, please don't forget to like this video. Lola, over and out.